I'm excited right now about Star Wars. Welcome to Movie Damage. I'm so glad you decided to make us part of your day today. Since we're all celebrating the up and coming Force Awakens, I figured, we'd do a special Versus episode. That's right, we're going to be doing Star Wars The Phantom Menace. This is going to be where we give you a little bit about the movie, make fun of it a little, as well as, share some enjoyable moments. Star Wars The Phantom Menace, one of the best movies of all time. It was directed by George Lucas and produced by a gentleman called Rick McCallum. Now these two were heavily involved in the original movies, and they got back together figuring, okay, we'll give it a go trying to make the prequels. And as many flaws as there are in this movie, it does have its upsides. I mean, there were some real good elements to this movie. Now, and I'm even going to pick one that most people would like gasp at and say, Jar Binks.
What did you say?
Now, Jar Binks, people, yeah, he was an annoying character, but look at what the technology is brought. That technology is basically what Andy Serkis did with Gollum, and he's now doing in the new Star Wars movies as Lord Snoke. So, let's face facts. Without Jar Jar, would have been, who knows what might have happened. So Jar Jar does have his good points. He's got a lot of bad points, I can't deny, but he does have good points. Now, George Lucas pretty much came back and decided he wanted to complete his story. And, to be honest, he did complete his story. Maybe not to the satisfaction of a lot of fans out there. So let's talk about the cast for a second. This movie had a stellar cast. From Liam Neeson, who played Qui-Gon, young Obi-Wan Kenobi was played by Ewan McGregor. Natalie Portman played young Queen Amidala. Jack Lloyd played Anakin Skywalker. Kenny Barker reprised the role as R2-D2, which was a surprise for many people. And one of my personal favourite actors in the industry, Brian Blessed, who was the voice of Boss Nass. Now, as I said, these are all quality actors, and they did the very best that they could in this movie. Some have complained that there was probably a little bit too much politics and too many meetings going in this movie. I say nonsense to that. I mean, we'll watch them all right now. I think the meetings in this movie are quite sufficient. I tell you that I learnt a lot. And also some people say there's a little bit of racism, but I don't see any of this.
Why do I sense we've picked up another pathetic life form?
And probably one of my greatest concerns was fart jokes in Star Wars, and poo jokes. Of course, what does Star Wars need more than poo jokes and fart jokes?
That's absolutely right.
And now we have to get on to the important issue of midichlorians.
I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
My thoughts exactly, Batman. Now let's talk a little bit about what's good in this movie and what's bad in this movie. We'll start off with what's not so good. Now in this movie you've got some pretty wooden acting, and this isn't just from some of the younger crew. This is all around. I mean, let's face facts. Liam Neeson was not at his best during this movie, but he was still a shining light. Even Ewan McGregor, who was an up-and-coming at the time, in this first movie really didn't shine that well. But this is probably because they were doing a lot of green screen work at the time, so a lot of the times they were just doing a lot of this acting and they weren't really interacting much around them. Now, we've talked a lot about what's bad in this movie, or what wasn't the best in this movie, but let's face facts, it also had a lot of redeemable qualities. One of these redeemable qualities is the special effects are next to none. Even though it didn't have that dirty lived-in feel that you got from the previous movies, it was spectacular still in its own right. I mean, these spaceships did look like you were going into space, so at least we got a little bit of that Star Wars feel again. One thing that I will say that were really awesome in this movie are the alien designs. In fact, even though some of them might have come across as racist when you hear them, some of these alien designs were fantastic, and it really did heighten this experience that we were in a galaxy. One of the highlights of this movie has got to be Ian McDiarmid's portrayal of Palpatine. He reprised the role after Return of the Jedi, and you'd never have guessed it because he does a fantastic job. You know he's this snivelling politician, and you know he's the master of the Sith, but at the same token, it's lovely to watch how he just manipulates his way through all these people to finally get what he wants. And let's face the facts, if there's any winner in this entire movie, it's the Emperor. The music in this movie is fantastic. It's John Williams at his absolute best. It really was used to maximum dramatic effect. In fact, it's probably one of the things that when I first watched this movie almost convinced me that it was a good movie, because the music is fantastic. Now let's talk about the most dangerous sport in the universe, pod racing. This is a sport that no parent would let their child enter. A child who just so happens to be the only one who finishes this race. Everybody else either dies or crashes. So Shmi Skywalker, you win Mother of the Year. Let's talk about the lightsaber battles now. In the original movies, we got a few lightsaber battles, but we didn't really get to see what these people could do with a lightsaber. This is one thing that I will say the Phantom Menace excelled a lot more in. It was very choreographed, but the lightsaber battles were still very exciting and very fast-paced. I really enjoyed them personally. You can't talk about Star Wars without talking about the Jedi. And let's face facts, if you're going to look at Qui-Gon as your example of what a noble Jedi is to be, he's a cheat. He's a manipulator.
The Queen will not approve.
Queen doesn't need to know.
One thing that's cool about the Jedi is they're always on the move. So in conclusion, it wasn't a good movie, but it wasn't a bad movie. And let's face the facts, it has led to something which is really spectacular, and that's The Force Awakens, which will be coming out in a few days' time. I really hope to see you all there. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe, press the like button, and maybe even leave a comment. Let's ask some questions and let's get right into the Star Wars mood. May the Force be with you all.